Hi there, this is Esther Herbert in for another video visit. I've received a great deal of feedback about my very first video visit. It was just giving an overview of who I am, where I came from, being the baby of four, the pressures that I felt and so forth. And because of your great feedback, I've heard that you want to hear more about my journey, my story of who I am. So I am very happy to tell you a little bit more. I am going to concentrate on high school days in this chat with you today. I really believe that, as we all know, 2020 vision is marvelous, but I didn't have that. No one has that. And my high school experience was one where I was a chameleon. I was someone that wanted everyone to like me, and I would do anything and become almost anything to get along. Now, I could go into the lunchroom at my high school and I would sit with the, what we called the geeks or the jocks or the, the math club, the band club. I was a member of the band. I was a prefect. I was involved in everything. But, that didn't tell me at the time, but looking back, I wanted to people please. I wanted to be someone that was well-liked, popular. But in that, I kind of sacrificed who I was. Because I was living with a mental illness in high school that I knew nothing about. I had triggers that were going on that might have told us today what this teenager had, but at the time, nothing. My very best friend, Mike, didn't know, and we spent almost every waking moment together. No one knew, let alone family or myself, of course. So some of the things that I was doing, like I mentioned in the first chat, that I had very respected parents. They were pillars of the community in the church. And I also had three siblings that were just, phenomenal overachievers. I had, as I mentioned, a very intelligent older brother. I had the next older brother was a public speaker, turned into a lawyer. And my sister, drop dead gorgeous, talented singer. She had all the attention in the world, and she was an amazing woman in her own rights. But I didn't feel like I could measure up to them or to my parents' standards. And what I found was that I wanted so desperately to fit in. And then when I didn't, it was so disappointing. I didn't want to show that because your popularity goes down if you're depressed. So I took to drinking. I would drink in the mornings before I went off to class. I always found it kind of humorous that I'd go off to my first class of the day, world religion class, and I would have drank a few beers before I went to class. I had a friend worried sick about me because she could smell the alcohol. I kind of made my own entertainment in my head. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I just thought it was fun to be rebellious. So what I would do, because I didn't want to get caught, I just wanted to do it and just bask in the glow that I got away with it. So I would go out and steal. I would take things from stores and I would find how risky it could be and how much I could take without anybody knowing. I would drive my car over 100 miles per hour at that time, and I would go out late at night. I would go the back country roads, going 100. I would click off the lights and go through intersections. Why? Just for the adrenaline pump. I didn't look at it like reckless behavior. I just looked at it as, wow, this was fun. This was great. I'm not hurting anybody. And if I got hurt, well, oh well, because I didn't respect myself enough. And then other things that I would do, I would experiment. I did with drugs. I would experiment with, also back to the cars. I always found racing fast was fun. So I would steal cars from my family and I would take them out and I would drive around. And I had 2 accidents before I was 16, before I was licensed. So, I was a headache and a heartache to my parents. And I thought, wow, what a bad kid. You're just going to live up to that for the rest of your life. And now that I'm properly diagnosed with bipolar, and my doctor said I probably had it around 14, 15, somewhere in there, I thought, light bulbs went off everywhere. I wasn't just a rebellious kid that loved getting into trouble. It was part of the symptoms of bipolar, reckless behavior, racing thoughts, doing dastardly deeds. And you think, wow, I have a reason for it. I thought to myself, there is a reason that I'm still here, because I really shouldn't be. I had well-meaning friends tell me that, you're going to end up killing yourself one day. They were worried sick, whereas I couldn't care less. Now I see, the path that I had back then and the path I'm on now, there's reasons for it. I learned things. I can be more compassionate and caring and less judgmental. But boy, it was a tough road back then. And I'm so glad to know what I have. Mental health is so important. They say it over and over. It's as important as your physical health. Remember that. It's not a trite saying, it's the truth. So if you would, on the channel you're visiting right now, go to About column. You'll see my name, contact information. I'd love to speak to your group. I'm a motivational speaker highlighting in mental health issues. So if you would, contact me and I would be glad to do that. Thanks for visiting today. I hope you come back next week. Have a great week. Bye-bye.